as y'all have heard, I heard in the last 6 months, it's been a little bit longer now, that we have a small window of opportunity to be able to attain the most optimal temporal reality. And what has to occur is that all of us have to contribute. We contribute through our skills. We contribute on every level that we can, including mass meditations, which is what we're about to do. But it's really important that we find ways to plant seeds in the mass consciousness over the next 3 years, because that looks like it's going to be the catalyst that, well, us as a mass consciousness, we're going to decide which timeline we're going to experience. And we have a lot of negative groups that are trying to guide us to the wrong temporal reality, and we have a huge responsibility right now. Mike, do you want to talk about the Full Disclosure Project? I think most of you recognize Mike.
Hi.
Mike recently organized I guess it was a protest, or not really a protest, outside of an Air Force base where they were handing out flyers to these people walking inside the Air Force base. And I had no idea this was going on. Sigmund, not too long ago, told me, well, I won't use the language, but to have my people quit harassing his people at an Air Force base, and I denied having any knowledge of it, and he kind of scowled at me like I was a liar. And then I find out months later that someone on my team had been doing it. It was Mike. Which blows me away. Yeah. Mike, he's this very quiet guy, very humble guy, okay? And then he's out handing flyers to Air Force personnel going on the base. I mean, I've had a problem reconciling that in the beginning. He's got a lot of guts.
It's because of my friend over here, Lotus, has been doing it his whole... Where is he? Where's Lotus?
Yeah.
Right there. He's been doing it his whole life, so he encouraged me to do it. But this is something that's really worth emphasizing, because all I did was start a meetup group, and people like Lotus showed up and pushed me to do things. People like Lotus showed up to my meetup group, and that pushed me to be inspired to do things like the protest at Schriever Air Force Base and the Space Symposium in Colorado Springs. We did that a few times. And we're not just giving out flyers, we're giving out DVDs, and I'm getting better and better at making DVDs and putting a lot onto one DVD. So I actually created a few things leading up to this that we can announce right now, I think.
Yeah. How many of y'all are willing to take part in something like that in your community? I thought so. All right.
Okay, so, well, the first thing we're probably going to do is, should we go with the flyer, you think? So we got a flyer here that explains basically some of the simple steps of what you can do to start a group, similar to what I did. And we're also working towards just creating a 501c3 type organization around the Full Disclosure Project, which can help support local chapters of the Full Disclosure Project in some way. And so this flyer explains that a little bit, and it gives a link at the top. The link at the very top is community.fulldisclosureproject.org, which is where you can go right now to begin the discussions, and following after this, discussing how you start a group and what's going on with the Full Disclosure Project. Right now, we really haven't had a resource like that, except for the Facebook pages. But this will be a much more structured, it's not exactly a traditional forum. It's software, it's called Discourse. It's a little bit more like a social network. Some of the better features, works better on mobile devices than a traditional forum. But it does allow for a structured discussion to occur on many topics. We can do that. I also created a website you'll see at the back of the flyer. I couldn't decide if I should call it like Disclosure Institute, Disclosure Academy, just somewhere where I could put like flyers and DVDs for you to learn from and also distribute to others. So if you go to disclosureinstitute.org right now, you can find the flyers that we used for the Schriever protest, and also you'll find a bunch of DVDs that I've given out. You find DVD images, which are the things that you download and then burn onto a blank DVD. And so it's really cheap to buy DVDs right now. DVD Rs, DVD plus Rs, if you have a DVD burner. And then you can pass out tons of information, great information to people. And it works a little bit better sometimes than just giving people a link. If you have something that you can actually hand to them, it works a lot better.